Hello, students. Welcome to another lesson. In today's lesson, we will be talking about how much and how many. Okay? So please take a paper and a pen and follow with me. So, first things first, here we're going to know why we use how many or how much. So, we use them to ask about the quantity. Okay, so for example, if you want to know the number of something, that is why you use how much and how many. For example, I say, how many apples do you have in the fridge? How many books do you have in your school bag? How many pens do you have in your pencil case, etc.? So whenever you want to ask about the quantity of something, you use these two expressions, okay? Now, how many and how much have the same meaning, but they are used with different nouns, and I'm pretty sure that you've studied the different nouns we have in English. For now, we have two types of nouns, okay? Now let's fresh up your memories a little bit, and then we can move on to our lesson. Now please count with me. How many bananas do we have here? Shall we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 bananas. And as you can hear here, there is an S at the end, okay? So that means this noun is irregular plural, okay? Now here we have a child. So basically we say one child and then two children. There is no S because this noun is irregular plural noun. Okay? Very good. Now let's move on and count some books. How many books do we have here? 1, 2, 3. Very good. So 3 books. Again, you can hear the S at the end, which means it's a regular plural noun. Very good. Now we can come to the conclusion of we have here 1 banana, 5 bananas, 1 book, 3 books, 1 child, 2 children. What you can see here is that we can count these nouns. We can tell the number of these nouns. Okay, right? Now we call these nouns countable nouns. You've studied this before. This is only to fresh up your memories. Okay? So countable nouns are nouns that we can count with numbers. For example, I can say 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, 6 apples, 27 apples, and I can say 1 book, 2 books, sorry. For example, 10 books. I can say 1 woman, 2 women, 3 women, and I can say again 1 baby, 2 babies. These nouns are countable nouns because we can count them with numbers. We can tell the quantity with numbers, okay? They have a singular and a plural form. Examples: 1 egg, 2 eggs. As you can see, the S of the plural. 1 apple, 2 apples. 1 woman, 2 women. Okay, so these are countable nouns. We can count them. Yes, let's move on to the other type of nouns. Now let's count again. We have rice, and afterwards we have salt. Let's count. Can you count with me? 1 rice, 2 rice. Good, okay. Now let's move on. Now we can say 1 salt, 2 salt. Now let me tell you, if you said what I said right now, I'm so afraid that you're so wrong because we cannot count rice or salt. These are uncountable nouns. We can't say, for example, I have one rice, I have two rice, or I have one salt, two salt, I have one money or two money. No, these are uncountable nouns because we cannot count them. Okay, we cannot count them with numbers. So again, we can say that uncountable nouns are things we cannot count with numbers, like liquids, powders, and so on. We have so many examples, but for now we're going to stick with liquids and powders, okay? Uncountable nouns usually don't have a plural form. Examples: water. Water doesn't have a plural form. We can't say one water, two waters. That's super incorrect, okay? Bread, salt, rice, sugar, and then so on. So these nouns here are uncountable nouns. We cannot count them with numbers, okay? Please don't forget to take notes or write these things down. Now let's go and see the use of how many. Now, as I told you before, we use how many to ask about the quantity of something. Yes? We use how many here with countable nouns. Again, countable nouns are nouns we can count. So this is the rule here. How many plus a plural countable noun. Okay, it should be in its plural form, otherwise it's so wrong. Yes, let's see some examples here. Example number 1, how many books do you have? How many plus books in its plural form. How many books do you have? Now here, from this question, I want to know the quantity of books that you have, okay? Again, example number 2, how many eggs do you need? How many eggs do you need? Again, the noun here is in its plural form. It's a must. It should be in its plural form. Okay? Number 3, how many students are there? How many students are there? Again, are there many strawberries? Are there many strawberries? So look at verb to be here. We didn't say, is there many strawberries? Why? Because we use many with countable nouns, and those nouns should be in the plural form, which means again we cannot use is. Is always for the singular. Are is always for the plural. Okay? And again, how to answer these questions? There is a difference between the positive answer and the negative answer. Now we're going to see some examples. Example number 1, we can say there are a lot of strawberries. There are a lot of strawberries, okay? Example number 2, I have a lot of books. I have a lot of books. Number 3, I need a lot of eggs. I need a lot of eggs. So this is how we answer positive or affirmative statements. Okay, you can't say, for example, there are many strawberries. You can in the note sometimes, but usually it's wrong. So just try to avoid using many, okay, in the positive statements. And the negative statements, we can say there aren't many eggs. There aren't many eggs. So as you can see here, we use a lot of for positive answers, and we use many for negative answers. And of course, the verb has to be conjugated in the negative form. okay? That's why they're negative answers, okay? Now let's move on to the use of how much. Now we saw how many, that we can use it with countable nouns, and we've seen what countable nouns are. Now we use how much with uncountable nouns, and as I told you again before, uncountable nouns are nouns that we cannot count. Yes, so the rule here, how much plus uncountable noun, if you want to make your question. Examples: how much sugar is there? And as you can see here, when I said uncountable noun, I did not mention the plural because obviously uncountable noun does not have a plural form, so it should be in its normal form, okay, where there is no s or anything that can say it's a plural form. So it should be the normal word, how much sugar is there. And again, we use verb to be in its, again, singular form, is there. We can't say how much sugar are there because the word here is not plural, okay? Example number 2, how much money do you need? How much money do you need? Example number 3, is there much butter? Is there much butter? How to answer these questions again? With a positive answer and a negative answer. So if you want to answer in a positive way, we can say there is a lot of sugar. There is a lot of sugar, okay? I need a lot of money. I need a lot of money. Number 3, there is a lot of butter. There is a lot of butter. Again, here you can see that verb to be is conjugated in its singular form because, again, the word sugar, money, and butter are uncountable nouns. They do not have a plural form. Yes? Now let's go and see the negative answers. There isn't much butter. There isn't much butter. If you can tell me here again what's going on. So we use a lot of with the positive answers, yes, and then much with the negative answers. Very good. So if you see the negative answers, we cannot say there isn't a lot of butter. No, that's super wrong because a lot of is only for affirmative and positive statements, and much is for the negative and question statements. Okay? Example number 2, there isn't much salt. There isn't much salt. So here again we used much in our negative answer, of course with the verb conjugated in the negative form. That's what makes it a negative answer. Okay, very good. Here we have our conclusion. So if you observe this table here, you can see that we have affirmative, negative, and question forms, and countable and countable. So basically this concludes everything that you've seen in this video. When it comes to countable affirmative form, we use a lot of, okay, affirmative statements, okay? And when it comes again to countable negative statements, we use many. Countable questions, we use again many. How many apples are there? How many students are there? Are there many strawberries, for example? Again, when we talk about uncountable affirmative statements, a lot of. So a lot of here, we can use it in both countable and with both countable and uncountable nouns. Yes? Good. And uncountable negative statements, we use much. Uncountable question, we use much. So this basically explains it all. I know it's difficult for now, but with some practice, this will become a little bit easier. Just try to do a lot of exercises and practice more so you can understand it better. And you can always rewatch the video again and again and again. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay? Let's do some practice now. Complete the following with much or many. So please pause this video so that you have time to complete this exercise, and when you are ready, click play again to hear the answer. Now, number 1, milk. We have milk. Milk is an uncountable noun. Very good. What do we use with uncountable nouns? How much. Very good. Number 2, we have students. Students is a countable noun. Very good. And we use many with countable nouns. How many students are in the classroom? Number 3, food. So food again is an uncountable noun. And how much food did you eat? Very good. Number 4, days. Days are countable nouns. And we use many with countable nouns. It becomes how many days are in a week? Number 5, is there butter? Butter is an uncountable noun. Is there much butter? Very good. Number 6, are there apples? S. So apples here is a countable noun. We can say, are there many apples? Number 7, is there rice? Is there much rice? Because rice is an uncountable noun. So I hope that you got your answer right. Please, you have to practice more and do your homework, do your exercises so you can understand this much better. And if you have any question, you can always ask me. We're going to do a lot of exercises together, so please make sure you always revise your lessons and do your homework. And stay home and safe, kids. I love you so much. Bye.